This is a product review of the Salty Britches Skin Barrier Ointment. Hands down, one of the best, if not the best, products that you can get on the market right now. Prevent chafing and blisters. Um, Even if you would happen to get some chafing or a blister, it helps soothe them, I guess is the way to say it. Um, so you can keep on going. I've used this for a couple different races now, even a 50K Trail Ultra like 3 weeks ago. Um, Product worked really well. Um, I mainly used it on my feet so far, just to test it out because it is a little bit thicker than your normal products that people use all the time for running. So I don't want to put it on my nuts and have to get it off because it does last a long time and it is a really good barrier. Salty Britches was made for more swimming slash like for the military use, but it's been adapted to everyday use as well. So us like runners or bikers or anything like that, ruckers, any type of outdoor activity where you're gonna get um, either salt build up, you're gonna get blisters or some chafing. You could use it for those areas, um, just as to help prevent those from actually happening and forming, or to soothe it if you actually get those problems. If they would occur. I put it on my feet. Um, for instance, during that 50K Trail Ultra, my shoes were a little bit wet, my socks were a little bit wet, but my feet didn't get all wrinkly and pruny like they normally do during a long ultra where my feet get wet. So it does help with that prune factor as well. So what I mean by that is, if you're getting blisters and chafing and stuff on your foot, a lot of times it's because your feet start to either swell or they start to get like pruny and hold too much water in, so the skin becomes a little bit looser, so then the blisters form as you run and there's a little bit of friction. Well, this helps prevent your feet from actually getting or absorbing or whatever, retaining too much water. It keeps your feet drier as well because it just keeps the moisture from being in contact with your foot, so you won't get those blisters or the chafing spots on the top of your foot from your shoes as you normally would if you would use this product. Um, so it does help. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to keep using it and try it in some other areas, like underneath my armpits and my nuts and inner thigh area as well, because I just dabbled in it a little bit. Um, I just didn't go full on out for runs yet, because again, it's a very thick product. But it does seem to like wipe off pretty good when you actually want to get it off. But what's also nice about this, because it is a thicker product than any other product I have seen before or used before, is again, it's made for like salty conditions if you're going to go swimming in the ocean or anything like that. So if you're a runner, a rucker, biking, whatever, and you usually come with that nice little salt film, under your armpits or your legs and your groin area, this product is thicker, so you're not going to get that rubbing from that salt buildup that you would when you use other products as well that are a little bit thinner, if that makes any sense. So let's just say, for instance, typically your groin area as you're running, and if you're wearing like compression shorts or something, you can see it, and when you look down, you get that weight film around your groin and inner thighs from the sweat just dripping down, and then you start to get those little hot spots or some chafing on those inner thighs, because the products that you normally would use are a little bit too thin, or they rub off very easily as you're doing your activities, whereas this, it's a little bit thicker, so it's going to give you a lot more greater barrier than those other products. So if you do get that salt buildup very easily, the salt, even though it might be there, it's just not going to rub through the product. It's going to, I don't know how to say it, basically stay on the outside of the product and not rub. So if you put it on both of your inner thighs, you're going to have protection where your thighs aren't going to rub, and that salt's not going to rub in and make that friction where a thinner product normally would. And the same thing with your feet. Again, as I said, my feet stayed drier, so they didn't get as pruny, and I didn't get that friction where I got blisters or hot spots from my foot moving back and forth, or just the skin just shriveling up and just rubbing like it would like sandpaper. Um, even with a little bit of um, dirt, I'm going to say like sandy type dirt from the trail race, um, it didn't cause the friction in the hot spots. Um, some of the other products that I've talked about before would when I used this. Um, Again, it was more or less developed for like military use, but for everyday use now, people are finding this product really works good. Um, and here, I'll just read the front of it. It says, prevents or soothes chafing and blisters during ruck, amphibious operations, and all other imagined misery. So right there, the mission statement on the front is basically military derived. Um, Here's the directions for use. Apply liberally to intact skin anywhere chafing or blisters occur before activity or swimming. Can be used to soothe irritated skin. Um, Obviously, you don't want to use it if you have an open wound and try to soothe it that way. But if you're using this product beforehand, you're really not going to need to reapply it at all per se. And you're not going to worry about getting those open wounds or rashes or blisters at all if you actually use this where you normally would get those areas, I guess, irritation areas. I'm trying to think what else to say, but I've only used this for a couple weeks now. But again, I'm very happy with it. It's very easy to use. I don't want to put it on my finger, but we'll just, it comes in this little tube like this. And I'll try to squeeze it a little bit. You see how it's not really a normal cream per se. It's more like a heavy paste, like a wax, or like a thick grease type deal, I guess is another way to put it. So again, it's very thick and it's just not going to squirt out. You actually have to squeeze hard. And I was reading they keep us in a tube like this specifically. So if it's out in the sun, or if you lay it out in the sun, or if you're doing an activity and it gets a little bit warm, it doesn't actually ruin the product. So that's why it's in this and not like a stick or like a chapstick type tube. But again, check this out. It does work. I do recommend it if you're a runner, biker, hiker, rucker, whatever. If you're just doing a bunch of exercises, if you're just, doing lifting, doing a heavy set, and after that you get a little bit of a hot spot, or some chafing after a hard workout, or even if you're working or on your feet all day long, this product is going to be great for you. Definitely worth the price. I think this was maybe $15 or something online. Amazon might be a couple bucks cheaper, but it's definitely worth it. It's going to save your feet or your armpits or your groin or inner thigh areas or wherever else you may chafe. Especially if you're wearing like a waist pack or a hydration pack and you put this around those areas. Because like if you're wearing a hydration pack, just right underneath the bottom of the waist pack, you get that little straight line once in a while, or it just rubs like underneath your armpits where it touches your body. Those are perfect areas for this to use. Again, it's going to soothe the skin beforehand and give you a nice thick barrier so it doesn't rub those areas raw. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And hopefully you also enjoy this product as much as I do.